Hello everybody. Today I'm going to have a look at some sports vocabulary, sports idioms, all sorts related to sports. So please join, and first of all we're going to read. Hello, Barrow. Looks like you're advertising something else there on Facebook, but I hope to see some people joining in soon. Here's a word for you, intangible. I'm looking through this first paragraph now to see which words might be interesting. Intangible, geneticists, isolate, decathlon. What number is there inside decathlon? Marvel. Deliberately. I think the pronunciation is more difficult in that than the meaning. I think everybody knows this word because we've all done something deliberately, and we've all done things by accident. And so deliberately, regularly. So I'm looking for somebody to come along and read the first paragraph for me and discuss it with me. There is some intangible element that separates the champion from the also-ran. Doubtless, the geneticists will be able to isolate it one day and implant it. But for the time being, we can only marvel at the men and women who win whatever the odds. Like double Olympic decathlon champion Daley Thompson, who would train on Christmas Day, strengthened, he said, by the knowledge that none of his competitors would be doing the same. Hello, Fabrizio.
Hello.
Hello there. And Frank, hello there.
Hello, teacher. Welcome.
Hello there. Hi. I see some new people. That's good. I like to see new people. Have you been to any other lessons today on Verbling?
No, I haven't.
This is your first one?
Yeah, it's my first one. English class.
Yes.
Is it your first one today or your first one ever?
Today.
First one ever.
First one ever for you? Oh, wow. That's great. Well, you can come here every day. Are you busy most of the time during the day? Somebody's asking me what butcher means. Who can explain it? Well, maybe it's a verb, but maybe it's a noun. Usually it's a noun. A person who prepares and sells meat is a butcher. But in this case, Pat Butcher, well, Pat could be a verb, but here, Pat Butcher is a person's name. Pat is a person's name. Who knows what Pat is short for?
Patrick.
Well, yes, it could be Patrick. I was thinking of a woman's name because there is a woman called Pat Butcher on TV in England. So if it's a woman, then what do you think the name could be short for?
Patrick.
Patricia is a woman's name, and Patrick is an Irish name. Patrick is an Irish name, and there are lots of Irish names now around the world. In America, Patrick. And so Pat Butcher could be a man or a woman. I don't know. I know one woman called Pat Butcher. If the word pat is a verb, who knows what that means? If I say pat as a verb, pat it on the back. You deserve a good pat on the back. That's a noun, but it's a noun from a verb. So what is the verb to pat somebody? It's probably something you don't do to your best friend. It's not exactly touch, because I can touch somebody and I'm not patting them. If you pat the dog, what are you doing? Can anyone show me the action? Fabrizio, hi. Are you there?
Hi.
You're not
Yes,
on camera,
but I
though,
don't
so
know.
you're not on camera. Frank, you're there on camera. Can you actually show how you pat something? Mark, can I have your dog?
Yeah, I can hear you. Yeah.
Yeah, do you know what patting is?
No, I'm not. Sorry, I'm not.
I'm going to ask my little boy what it means. Mark, will you come here? I want you to show everybody what patting means. Get your dog here. Right, I'm just going to stop my screen share a moment. Okay, look, here's Mark.
It means this.
See what he's doing? Pat his head. Patting him. Oh, and what is stroking him? Can you stroke him? Stroke the dog. That's cuddling, isn't it? What? Stroke the dog now. Like this. Yeah. You better go and get dressed, though. You're not allowed on TV without being dressed. So off you go. Okay, back to the screen. Here we go. So I'm looking for a reader. I'm going to start off with Fabrizio. You're here first. Will you please take over the reading for me?
Okay.
So let's go from, I'll read the introduction and then you can read the first paragraph. How about that? So Pat Butcher pays tribute to those sportsmen and women who have ventured far beyond the pain barrier in pursuit of their dream. So,
Okay.
do you understand that heading, by the way, Fabrizio? Any questions about the heading there?
No, I think it's
The
going
pain
to talk
barrier.
about
What is this pain barrier?
something that hurts.
So if you push yourself beyond the pain barrier, what are you doing as a sportsman?
You are doing it extremely.
Yeah, and you're not giving up when it starts to get tough, you know? When the going gets tough, the tough get going. You keep going. You don't give up. Some people get a little bit of stitch when they're running and they stop. You know, stitch is a kind of pain in your stomach when you are not very fit and you start running fast. It starts to hurt sometimes. Okay, can you read paragraph 1, please, Fabrizio?
Yes, but the text is quite bad. I think I'll try. There is some intangible element that separates the champion from the also run. Doubtless, the geneticist will be able to isolate it one day and implant it, but for the time being, can only marvel at the men and women who win whatever the odds.
Yeah, finish the sentence there. So whatever the odds, drop your tone there. Some questions for you then. Everybody can answer because we've only got the three of us in the room, just Fabrizio, Frank and me. So now I'd like to ask you, intangible. If something is intangible, how can you describe it if it's intangible?
That it is a concept.
I will use the words, if something is intangible, you can't quite put your finger on it. What do I mean?
That it's not physical.
It's not physical, yeah, but if you can't quite know what it is, you can't put your finger on it exactly. Okay, and if somebody is an also-ran, what does that mean? We'll have a look at that later, but let's see. Do you think that an also-ran is somebody who wins or somebody who comes second or third? What do you think?
Second or first or third.
Yeah, they're called an also-ran sometimes. Okay, so let's go on. Can you read the next bit too?
Okay. Like double Olympic decathlon champion Daley Thompson, who could train on Christmas Day, strengthened, he said, by the knowledge that none of the competitors could be doing the same. Thompson
Nice
reading.
Okay, sorry, carry on. That's good. It's going well. Nice reading.
Okay. Thompson would also try to reproduce the pressure of competition by deliberately doing poorly in the first two attempts at one of his disciplines, the shot put, for example, in order to force himself to throw the best on the third attempt, since that's how many chances he would get in proper competition. And indeed, Thompson would regularly pull out a winner in exactly those circumstances, when all seemed lost.
Yeah, have you ever heard of Daley Thompson?
No, I haven't.
Some years back now, maybe you don't know him, but he was a decathlon athlete. So are there any more words there? Let's have a look. All the words not too difficult for you? What is a discipline?
Is one of the activities involved in the decathlon.
Yeah, that's right. Here it's one of the activities involved. Spot on. Discipline generally is something different, isn't it? What is discipline generally?
It's the way of being to stick to something, you know, to follow something from the beginning to the end perfectly, I think.
Maybe to be under control and strict with yourself, and discipline is something that about keeping control, maybe strictly. Yeah, okay, so let's move on now. We've got Frank. I'm going to just nudge up the screen here so that you can see it. So, Frank,
Yeah.
I'd like you to carry on with paragraph 2. Could you read, but more remarkable? Is it big enough?
Yeah, it's big. It's very hard to me, but I will try it.
Great. Don't worry if you make a big mess of it, because we're just here to learn and have fun, so it really doesn't matter. So just do your best and have a read and see how it goes.
Okay, the second paragraph. Yeah.
Where it starts with, but more remarkable.
Or lived on the east coast of the USA.
No, just a minute. Hold on, stop. I moved the screen down, so now the second paragraph starts with, but more remarkable still.
Okay, but more remarkable still are those champions who overcome during tragedy, war, and oppression to get to the top.
There's a word. One of those words is wrong. Can you see which word in that sentence is a correct word, but it's the wrong word?
I can't understand you.
Fabrizio, can you see? Can anybody see a mistake in the first sentence there? One of the words.
I think
is
that
not.
The mistake is jury. I think it's injury. or not?
Yes, it should be injury. Injury. That's a mistake. I'll fix that mistake later. That is a genuine accident somewhere. That should be injury. Okay, so, but more remarkable still are those champions who overcome injury, because you can't really overcome jury, or the jury, because unless you're a criminal maybe. Tragedy, war, and oppression to get to the top. Okay, read on there, please.
How Arthur stands in the front rank. On the face of it, Arthur for successive Olympic gold medals in the discus mark him out as a man who transcended competition. Yet Arthur had to face setbacks which would have defined any ordinary athlete to even get to two of those games.
So it's a miracle he even managed to get there. He even managed to compete. Never mind win the whole event. So this guy must be amazing. So let's find out what he did that was so amazing. First of all, before we move on, hi there, Josefa, Maria. Before we move on to you, I would like to just check that we know all the words in paragraph 2. But more remarkable still are those champions who overcome injury, tragedy, war, and oppression to get to the top. Al Erter stands in the front rank. On the face of it, Erter's 4 successive Olympic gold medals in the discus mark him out as a man who transcended competition. Yet Erter had to face setbacks which would have defied any ordinary athlete to even get to 2 of those games. So something happened to him. Setback. A setback is something that knocks you back. So something happened that should have set him back, but he defied those things. If you defy something, defy, usually 4 words, just 4 letters, defy. What do you do if you defy something? Do you know the answer, Frank? What do you do if you defy something?
Defied. Let me see. Defied. When you like a challenge.
Yeah, if that you could throw out a challenge and say, "I defy you to do this." But if you defy something like he has, then it's against all odds. It's against something. Yes, and he was against something and he defied it. So he actually refused to back down. He refused to lose to something. He defied it, or went against something. Okay, so Maria, if you're with us now, can you go to the next paragraph and read, please? We need your sound, though. Again. Like before, your sound is on and off. Can you fix your sound? I don't think she can even hear me.
Yes, now.
Oh,
sorry.
good. Okay, so yours is the next paragraph. Let me just nudge it up so that it's at the top there. I might be able to make it a little bit bigger. Let's see how it works. Hold on, there we go. Yeah, a bit bigger there. Your turn then.
Okay, Arthur lived on the east coast of the USA, a continent. I'm sorry because I cannot. Where's the page here? Arthur lived on the east coast of the USA, a continent away from the Californian sunshine, and which the majority of his competitors trained. But that was a minor inconvenience compared with the almost fatal car crash he survived between his surprise Olympic gold at the age of 20 in Melbourne 1956 and his incredible triumph in Rome 4 years later, where
hold on just a moment
won
there.
again.
Just let me interrupt you there. Good reading, but let's just fix up some words. Some of the words you read very, very well, maybe the words you know well. Inconvenience and lots of good words, but let me write some words and I would like you to read them to check the pronunciation. So the first one I'm going to write is this one. And
surprise.
Yeah, don't stress the beginning. So you want to stress the ending. So surprise me.
Ah, okay, thanks. Surprise me.
Surprise, yes. It can be a verb and it can be a noun, but if you give somebody a surprise, it's still the same. It's I surprised him. So this one doesn't change when you change it from a noun to a verb. It's surprise me. I had a surprise. And the other word is actually the name of a kind of motorbike we used to have. And what is this? How do we say this?
Try? No, I don't know. I told you triumph, but it's
yeah, but it's not the L'Arc de Triomphe. No, it's English. It's triumph.
Triumph.
And what's the adjective? Who knows the adjective? Triumphant, yes.
Triumphant.
We were triumphant. So that's good. And another one. Yes. Short word, but check this one out.
Fatal.
So big fatal. And then just an ending ul. Fatal. Yes, that's right. Now, thanks. What is the noun of it?
I don't know.
Anybody?
I don't know.
There was on the road today when two cars had an accident. Unfortunately, there was a fatality.
Okay.
Fatality. Now,
yes.
I think it's time now for you to go on. So, where were you? Can I remember? No. Can you remember?
I am from Barcelona.
But where were you in the text?
Oh no, yes, sorry. She was I don't know, because I'm sorry, he lived on the east coast of the USA, but
how do you say that word? Sorry, I'm interrupting you again. How do you say these words here?
First east.
Feast east. East. The east coast. The east coast.
Feast is.
Yeah. East
coast. East. East coast. Feast coast of the USA.
I just wrote the word feast because it sounds like east, that's all. So, okay, let's go on with the text there.
Okay. I am here.
I'm just going to post the link.
Am I reading?
Yes, you're still reading, I think. I hope so.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, again. But his victory in Tokyo in 1964, after a series of grave physical injuries, was the sort of comeback which is normally associated with a visit to Lourdes. After Rome, Arthur began to suffer from chronic cervical disc injury, which required him to wear a neck brace. Undaunted, he continued. This is
undaunted. Undaunted, he continued.
Undaunted, he continued to train and compete. And if that wasn't bad enough, a week before Tokyo, he tore a cartilage in his lower rib.
Cartilage? What is a cartilage?
My
Do you
God.
know this?
Yes, cartilage is one part. It's similar bone, but without. It's soft. It's a part of our locomotor, part of our body, but is where born the bones.
Something like a piece of string, isn't it? But a gristle, and not really the bones, but connecting and to our bones. Yes,
yeah, it's
cartilage.
Soft. It's soft. This part of our body disappears when I am chronic disease, arthrosis, polyarthrosic.
Now, Maria, I want to say to you that your English is quite good generally, but one thing I would like to say to you is that you really need to work on some of the longer words and the stress patterns, because when you read, I noticed that there's quite a few stress pattern mistakes. So now I'd like you to look at these two words and see if you can read them for me, just these two words.
Thank you very much.
Can you read those two words in the text there in verbally?
Yeah, Tokyo, Japan.
Now, the correct stress pattern of those is not quite the same as you read it. It's like Tokyo, Tokyo, and Japan, Japan.
Tokyo and Japan.
Japan, yes, get the ending. So how do you say this country?
Japan and Brazil.
Brazil, Brazil, Brazil.
Brazil.
Sometimes it's important to get the stress on the right syllable, you see. Right, any words in that paragraph that we don't know? We've got cartilage, undaunted. If you're undaunted, what are you? Can you put it into different words? Change the words, please, for undaunted.
Undaunted.
Not down,
undaunted.
but not down, but or like a horse. Undaunted.
Undaunted.
Yes.
Undaunted without daunted.
How can you change those words? Undaunted. Change that one word to some other words with the same meaning, or change the whole sentence if you like. Undaunted, he continued to train and compete.
Without any doubt, undaunted.
It's nothing to do with doubt. It's undaunted is nothing to do with doubt. If you are undaunted, then you don't let anything stop you. You don't let things put you off. You don't let things throw you or put you off or stand in your way.
Yeah.
You're undaunted. You stand strong against it and it doesn't stop you.
Yeah.
Any other words there? If something is chronic, what is it?
Chronic is one disease is continuous in the time.
It's serious, isn't it, if it's chronic? Severe and quite serious. Sometimes that seriousness can be the fact that it doesn't go away. But yes, it depends on what it is. But it's serious and lasting sometimes, yes. Now, we move on then.
Mm-hmm.
And we'll find another reader this time. So we'll move around the list. Whoops, I've done it. The classic mistake is to click and then it drops your screen share. Let's try and get it back. I can't even get it back until I've gone back here and done something like this and then come back and then go for it again. And here it is. So doctors it starts. So now where are we? Mo, Discover, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Oh, great. Hi there. I don't think I've met you before, have I?
Once before.
Which lesson was that? Remind me.
I don't remember. It was like 2 or 3 days ago.
Oh, maybe I didn't speak very long to you. Okay, so nice to meet you again, and thanks for coming back. So,
all right, nice to meet you.
Over to you then to read doctors.
Doctors advise 6 weeks rest, but after a shot of Novocaine and with an ice pack taped to his side and his neck brace taped to his side.
Actually, we were speaking about another verb like patted, and if I say tapped, how would I write tapped?
With double P.
Yeah, okay, so this is taped. All right, read on then.
Yeah, and his neck brace on. Werther went out and set an Olympic record in qualifying, but in the final he faced Ludwig Danek, who hadn't lost in 45 competitions. Werther told a colleague, "If I don't do it,
colleague,
if I don't do it on the first throw, I won't be able to do it at all. He didn't do it on his first throw.
Oh, I think you found a mistake there. I won't be able to do it at all. Is much better, I think. Yeah, I'll have a look at that later. I think that's a mistake there. It should say as you read it. That's a mark of good English there, because you read it and you are reading sentences and not little words. And you actually, when you do that,
I'm remembering, constructions.
That's really good work.
Right, thank you. He didn't do it on the first throw. Out of the middles, after 4 attempts, he gave it everything it got in his fifth. Orator was probably the only person in the stadium not watching the discuss.
Discus. Discussion is a verb, isn't it? But this is discus.
Discus.
Discus is the Olympic event where you throw the disc, and discussion is another word. So this is discus.
Discus. Right. As it winked its way to another Olympic record, he was doubled up with pain, but he had won again as he did, albeit in less heroic circumstances, in the next Olympics.
Great, okay, I would read that as albeit.
Albeit.
Albeit, yes, because that's what it is really, it's albeit, but shortened. So, right then, great reading. So let's have a look through quickly to see if we can just move on, or any questions, anybody? Colleague is a strange word, isn't it? But it's one we have to know because it's difficult to guess. I sometimes think about the word college and colleague. There's not a lot of difference. I think there's only a little difference in the spelling. Yeah. Okay, well done. Great work. So we've got some big questions coming up. So let's crack on with the reading. So here we've got the next paragraph. It just tells us there's a town in France called Lourdes. People get sent there to be cured. There's some kind of mineral waters there. Has anyone heard of it?
I was there.
No. And what were you doing there? Were you bathing in the waters?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was in the church.
In the church? Wow. I've never been, actually. Yeah.
There was many people. It was a large mass of people. It was crowded.
And when were you there?
Like 4 or 5 years ago, I was with my mother and aunt.
And would you recommend it? Do you think it's a great place to go and visit?
It's kind of a spiritual place. You see lots of people with the same hope of getting health and saint.
Yeah, I've heard about it, but I've never been there. I don't even know exactly where it is. Can you describe where it is?
It's in south of France, close to the border of Spain.
So probably that makes it more west than east, is that right?
Yes, it's Western Europe.
Yeah, okay, well I might go there one day. So let's move on. Great reading, by the way, and thank you for that. So, Ayub, are you there? Do you have a microphone? Can you just plug in for a moment?
Yep.
I can't hear you. Right, while you're working on that, we'll just move along to Fabrizio again. Fabrizio, still here?
Yes.
Yep.
All right, let's go back to you then for this one. So it starts with the word multiple.
Okay. Multiple world record holder Ron Clark of 60 Australia was another great athlete who suffered excruciating pain in the pursuit of his goal in the Olympic 20,000 meters in Mexico in 1968.
Right, let's have a look at this sentence. It looks a bit strange. Of 60 Australia. Now that's a bit confusing, isn't it? I think they mean he's 60 years old and he's from Australia. So how should we say that sentence? So we can start multiple world record holder, Ron Clark. We need to change 2 words around. Can you see which 2 words are round the wrong way? Need to be of and which other word?
60.
Yeah, so that looks right too. So we've spotted 3 mistakes here. That shows how careless I am, doesn't it? So multiple world record holder Ron Clark, 60, of Australia, and it might need a comma too, was another great athlete who suffered. Now there's a big long word there and another word beginning with P, so I'd like you to read those. Read those again, please. Suffered. Suffered what?
Suffered what?
Can you read that sentence to the end? Another great athlete who suffered. And then let's read those words again. Big long words there and another word, P-U-R-S-U.
Okay.
How do we say that word?
Okay. Was another great athlete who suffered excruciating pain in the pursuit of his goal.
Yeah, I think the problem, you said excruciating really well. That's the difficult word maybe, but the pursuit is another one of those. Japan, Brazil, pursuit. So watch out for those. There are some 2-syllable words which go backwards like that. In the pursuit of his goal in the Olympic 10,000 meters in Mexico in 1968. All right, go to the next sentence then.
Okay. Athletes have been warned that the thin air at altitude could affect them badly. There were even fears for their lives. The Australian team doctor was moved to agree when Clark collapsed in his arms after finishing as first non-altitude runner in 5th place and had to be administered oxygen while unconscious for 10 minutes.
Yeah, that was a very good reading, yeah. And I think we've done all the words, have we? So any questions about that paragraph, anybody? Okay, let's move on. That was good. So, Maria, back to you again. So I'll nudge it up for the next one. Had to be administered. We could say had to be given. Had to be administered. A doctor had to do this. Right, so here we go. Over to you.
It wasn't the first time that Clark had been forced.
Clark.
It wasn't the first time that Clark had been forced to withstand extreme pain in the pursuit of glory.
Remember this one? We said pursuit. You don't need to do the Y kind of the Y sound. Just pursuit is okay.
Pursuit.
Yeah.
In the pursuit of glory. When the Olympics were in Melbourne in 1956, Clark, then the world's leading junior Miller, was chosen.
That's not a Miller because Miller would be double L, and this is a miler.
Hello.
A miler and a Miller. Yeah, a miler is somebody who runs the mile.
Miler. Then the world's leading junior miler was chosen to light the Olympic flame. But the torch had been overloaded.
Hello.
Sorry?
Just a minute. If somebody came into the room and didn't even wait to listen to what's going on, that's
okay.
They probably don't know how it works here very well. So when you come into the room, just listen to see what's happening first is a good idea. Sorry about that. Over to you again.
It wasn't or but. It wasn't or but.
So let's go on from was chosen to light the Olympic flame, but the torch.
Okay, but the sorry. But the torch had been isn't clear. Okay, but the torch had been overloaded with magnesium.
Overloaded.
Overloaded, but the torch had been overloaded with magnesium and
we say easium, magnesium.
Magnesium.
Yes.
But the torch had been overloaded with magnesium and inextinguishable burning matter.
Inextinguishable. It means,
Inex-
you know, there's a phrasal verb for fires. If something
Yes.
is inextinguishable, it can't be what?
Extinguishable.
Inextinguishable.
Inextinguishable burning matter.
Let's have a look at this word. If something is inextinguishable, then it can't be what? Phrasal verb.
Yeah.
For fires.
Okay.
What do you do with fires to extinguish them as a phrasal
Yes.
verb? Phrasal verb. Can you say a phrasal verb for this?
No.
To put what? The fire. So I'm looking for a phrasal verb with put here. And it means it's inextinguishable. That means I can't put what?
Yeah. The fire was inextinguishable.
If I put it off, it's not put off, Nada, because if you put off, it means you don't do it now, you do it later, you delay it. But it's put out. Have you heard this, Maria? You can't put out the fire.
Yeah.
So that means it's inextinguishable. All right, so go on from inextinguishable then.
Yeah. Put out the fire is inextinguishable. Okay. Yes. But
if
the
you can't,
sentence,
if you can't put out the fire, it must be inextinguishable. Yes. All right.
Yeah. And inextinguishable burning matter fell on the youngster's arm as he mounted the steps.
Youngsters.
And
The youngsters.
The youngster's arm as he mounted the steps. Uncomplaining, he continued.
Continued, yeah. Don't stress the beginning. Stress the tin. Continued.
He continued and duly lit the cauldron.
Duly. Lit the cauldron. So duly,
duly lit the cauldron. He spent the rest of the ceremony having medical treatment.
Okay, some difficult words there. Well done, you got through. And we're moving on. So the next one is Mo Discover. Are you back with voice?
Yes.
Yes, good. So you're just reading a short one, I'm afraid. Let's see if we can do you a double here, because let's see how short the next one is. Yeah, right. two short ones for you.
Right. In Mexico, Clark returned later in the week to contest his other distance, the 5,000 meters. But the Aussie is convinced that his heart condition, which he now suffers so badly that he can barely jog 3 kilometers without stopping, is a direct result of pushing himself to the limit. But the Grand Prix for courage.
Yeah, hold on. This is very interesting because you have to be careful the way you read that Grand. You have to read it in French because otherwise it sounds a bit rude, actually. So we have to say, but the Grand Prix or something like that is better than saying pricks because, you know. Okay, so read it again.
But the Grand Prix for courage in the face of overwhelming adversity must go to Anna Quirot, World 800 meters silver 85 medalist in 1991 and Olympic bronze medalist the following year.
And here I would stress Olympic, like Olympic, da-dum-dum, Olympic. And I'm pretty sure, I don't know, I'm not 100% because I don't know the girl, but I would say, judging by her name, that it's not an English name at all. It was probably Poirot, but like Poirot, but who knows? But anyway, Olympic bronze medalist, Olympic.
Olympic, right. Quirot was at home in Cuba a few months later, preparing to give birth to her first child when she was victim of a horrific domestic accident.
Yeah, that was corrected. Horrific. Again. Just the same as I said for Olympic. Olympic, horrific. They're the same, aren't they? Three syllables with the middle one. Great work. Very well read. So now we're going to because soap powder. Let's move down. Where are you? Because there we go. And now, right, Nadia, can you hear us? Because you asked. Maybe you can't hear us, Nadia. Ahmed. No, muted at the moment because it seemed like you couldn't hear us because you were speaking to us when we were speaking. So I don't know if you can hear us or not. Okay, so let's go along the line then. Hello there. Are you there?
Hello.
Hi there. Great. You've got mics and I can hear you clearly. So we're reading now about sport and some of these sportsmen who are. How can we say that they're not daunted by difficulty. They very determined and super athletes, and they don't give up. So could you read, please, where it says because soap powder?
Because soap powder can be difficult to get, clothes are often boiled in alcoholic spirit. Poirot's wash literally exploded on the stove and into her face and body. She suffered third-degree burns to much of her skin, lost her child and almost died. She spent months in hospital, followed by years of skin rest, and the odds against her returning to athletics, let alone winning anything, seemed astronomical.
Okay, really nicely read. So one word, can you find the word, everybody? Write the word or say the word, which means something to do with chance and the chances of something happening.
Fortune.
Fortune is related to luck. Odds was the odds of something is the chance of it happening, and astronomical means it's almost impossible. 1,000,000 to 1, they say. So another word is what word in the text here means to fix something onto something. So something was lost and you cover it with something new and fix it. Maybe a kind of material or part of your body over a surface. Towards the end of it, towards the end of that paragraph.
Returning to athletics, maybe?
I was thinking of the word graft. Do you know this word graft?
No, I don't.
So skin graft, who can explain? I think Maria knows a little bit about medicine. So Maria, can you tell us about skin graft?
Skin graft is when you touch a bit of skin, another part of your body, and put in the burn zone in order to improve your lesions.
Okay.
Right, okay, good. So let's move the screen down. Now we've got just 2 bits to go. I'm going to read this short bit. There was surprise when she resumed her training in early 1994. Amazement when she turned out for the Pan American Games later that year. And incredulity when she won the silver medal. Wow! How can she do it?
Wow!
It is amazing, I think.
How can she do it?
Julio, are you there, please?
Yes.
So, could you take on the end of this, just the last paragraph?
Okay. We ran out of the superlatives the following year when Poirot not only returned to the highest level of competition, but won the world 800 meters title in Gothenburg. In the fastest time of the year, Poirot was already a much admired athlete. but she has won many more fans, not simply by her comeback after such adversity, nor for her victories, but by the manner in which she has comported herself. Her willingness to face up to the camera with pride and defiance has been a source of inspiration.
We would say defiance there. Defiance.
Defiance. Sorry. Her
willingness. She's willing to do something. She's willing. Her willingness.
Okay. Her willingness to face up to the camera with pride and defiance has been defiance. And defiance has been a source of inspiration to everyone who has encountered her.
Encountered
her.
Great, okay, good reading. So we've got this story, and now we're going to just finish off the lesson. We've only got 8 minutes, so we have to call out the answers all together. So we've got some words here, and we've got also ran. I want to find the word A to K, which matches also ran. Can you just shout out which one it is? A, B, C, D, E to K. Also ran.
A.
Someone who failed to win a competition. That's good. So let's go for the decathlon.
They are in order, I think.
They're all in order, aren't they? That's strange. Yeah, they should be mixed. I don't know what's gone wrong there. So let's just go through them then. We've got the shot put. Is that in order? Yes, it is. An event where you try to throw a heavy metal ball as far as possible. So javelin is not that. It's a kind of spear. And 4, to pull out a winner. Maybe you don't know this one. To pull out a winner. Maria, we've got a bit of echo. I'll just mute you a second here. So to pull out a winner. Still got the screen there? Yeah. To pull out a winner means to produce the throw, score, the goal, etc., often unexpectedly, which results in a victory. So you do something and everyone goes, wow, yeah, that's the one, and now you're the winner. You pull out a winner. And the discus, remember the pronunciation, not the discuss, the discus. The discus is an event where you throw a heavy plate-shaped object as far as possible. A setback, what is that? Who remembers? Let's see. A problem, yeah. It's something that delays or prevents progress or makes things worse than they are. And the pursuit of glory.
The hunger of success.
Yeah, yes. And then the rest of them we know about a bronze medalist and resuming training. So that's great. Okay. Now we've got gaps here. 5 minutes. Let's see what we can do. So it says complete the gaps in the following sentences with one of the words from the boxes. So it was amazing. They blank out a winner by scoring in the last minute. Shout out the answers if you know.
Pull out.
They pulled out a winner, yes. And after being 3-0 down, we say 3-0 usually, not 3-0. Sometimes in different sports we can say different things, but you know, often it's 3-0. Sometimes in tennis it's a completely different system. But after being 3-0 down, they made an amazing and finally drew the match 3-all.
Comeback?
An amazing comeback, yes. Good one. Jack Reeves has blank a new world record for the 2nd time this year. It's not broken because you break a record, but you don't break a new world record, do you? So you set a new world record and you break the old world record. Yes. So good, it set a new world record. So I will blank training as soon as my ankle injury has healed up.
Resume
training, yeah. After many blank, she will be entering her first major competition for some time in the summer.
Setbacks.
Could be, yes, setbacks, that fits nicely. So, 6, I'm afraid he was not very happy about being the blank medalist. Bronze medalist, yeah, maybe even silver, but he was only thinking of gold. There are some people who just only want the gold, and they aren't happy to be up on the rostrums getting silver or gold. Do you know the 10 different events that make up the
Decathlon?
Decathlon, yes. It's the never-ending pursuit of which keeps these athletes training month after month.
Glory.
Yes, pursuit of glory. Don't you have to be pretty big to be good at the shot?
Discus.
Anything else?
Put.
Yeah, the shot put is one word for throwing that big heavy ball, but the discus is just one word on its own. So the discus, the shot put.
Yeah.
And the last one there, 2 of the failed to turn up for the race.
Also ran.
Well, if they were also rans, they must have turned up. So that I think we need another word.
Milers?
Could be milers or competitors or something else. Yes, failed to turn up. Yes, 2 of the athletes or milers. I don't think we can say also rans here because it doesn't really fit the context. Okay, there is one missing word in each of these sentences. Decide where it should go. So let's see if we have time to read them. I'm going to continue with sport in the next lesson, so we can slow down a little. I'm panicking too much. We can ask Fabrizio. Sorry, could you read, Fabrizio, that question there and try to tell me which word is missing?
Okay. You won't see the notice saying that all tomorrow's events have been cancelled.
So which word is missing? You have to find a word and put it in. We've got a kind of third form of a verb here, and I'm looking for a perfect tense. Who said the answer there?
This is me.
And what was the answer?
B.
You won't... Where's the missing word? Where does it go?
Between want and seeing.
Yes. And what is the word that goes there?
You won't be seeing, I think.
You won't be seen. No, it's not. You won't be seeing. You won't. We need a perfect tense. So not be. Have. You won't have seen. You won't have seen the notice saying that all tomorrow's events have been cancelled. But go and have a look. It's there. Okay. So number 2, we've got Maria. Can you read number 2 and try to find out where the missing word is?
She's about to buy a new flat and move out of her parents. About is not correct, I think.
That's the place. That's where we want to look, and we need something, maybe a preposition. What should we do?
She's near to buy a new flat.
But the rules here for this are that there's only one word missing, and we need to just put one word back in.
Only one missing. I don't know.
Any answers, anybody?
About to.
About to.
Okay.
She's about to buy a new flat and move out of her parents. So, Julio, yours is the next one.
The number 3?
Yes.
Will you take in the binoculars with
Binoculars.
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 Will you take the binoculars with you to the match?
Yes, but we've got taking, not take. So will you take?
Will you take in the binoculars with you to the match? and the word missing. No, I don't know.
Okay, now we'll finish this and continue in my next lesson. So think about that one. There's a word missing there. Actually, we spoke about it with number 1 because we mentioned it. It was a mistake in number 1, but it's the right one here. So when you've got a gerund form, there's a verb, isn't there?
Will you be?
Goes there. Be. Will you be taking the binoculars with you to the match? I need to end this broadcast and start the next one. So give me time and then join in again, please.
Okay.
See you soon.
Okay.
Okay.